Hello! And welcome to another episode of Blue Moon Collectibles.
Yep.
This is episode 8. My name is Chris.
I'm Tony.
And today we've got a great episode for you. This is going to be something a little bit different. I want to entitle this one, Outside of the Box. Funko has had a great collecting area or great series of items that you can collect that aren't necessarily just Funko Pops. They started off with different things, tried different products. So we'd like to go over a couple of those products with you today that we actually have here in our collection.
And some of the stuff other companies have done their own vinyl figures and they've become part of Funko.
Right. They've actually absorbed them or been bought by them. Okay. The first thing they started off with is the classic Wacky Wobbler.
Yep. And the common is, that's their trademark name, but the common, is a bobblehead.
A bobblehead.
Bobblehead's been around for a long time.
Yep. This is actually the oldest one that we own. This is Crypto, and this is from Destroy All Humans. The Wacky Wobblers actually do come in boxes as well. This is Mr. Bean that we were lucky to find at a secondhand store. The interesting thing about them is that they actually do all bobble. They have.
I hope so.
Yeah, that makes sense, doesn't it? They actually are a little bit more in depth. They have greater figure size. Their boxes are very interesting. For example, it's got Mr. Bean on the back, and then it's got animated Mr. Bean as well.
Yeah, it's very detailed boxes.
Indeed.
I got some water spots on this one. Sorry, folks.
Yep. But he is one of those things that they started off with. They also then took off with the Wacky Wobblers and did kind of like the trophy idea. The Dark Side Made Me Do It. One of those things. Or the Galaxy's Best Father. That kind of thing. Then they also got bigger. I'm a big Harley Quinn fan, so one of the things that we got here is a Wacky Wobbler with her on it. And then they actually tried different things. This is actually kind of a mixture of a Wacky Wobbler and an action figure, Green Lantern.
Yeah, he's posable, but then he's got the bobblehead and...
Right, his arms actually move. But yeah, he's actually made by Funko as well.
What year is he from? 2010.
Yeah, he's from 2010. And then, before they got to Pops, they kind of did these vinyl figures as well. This is Hello Kitty, of course, mixed with the Demon from Kiss.
You didn't mention that our oldest one is 2008.
Oh, I'm sorry, I thought I did. And this one actually is from 2012. I couldn't find a figure on Mr. Bean, but...
It might say on the inside.
Yeah. He's actually got the original Funko look on him as well, where he's got the crown on top of the F, which was the original way that they made their Funko design. As you can see, he's like a regular Funko Pop.
It's got the usual packaging, the clamshell.
Yeah, the plastic.
2007.
2007.
This is older.
Okay. Well, I take it back. We have Mr. Bean with his teddy bear as our oldest Wacky Wobbler.
We had a Jack Sparrow somewhere. I don't know what happened to him.
I think we sold him, unfortunately.
Oh, that sucks.
But we may come up with them in the future. And they are that kind of an interesting thing where the bobbleheads were a change. People started to collect them as something that you could actually put on your shelf. It was one of those ideas of a conversation piece. And they started off with those little licenses. For example, with the video games. And, of course, they've had Star Wars for a long time.
And sports.
And sports and stuff. And, okay, I'm sorry. The other thing that they started doing, they started making vinyl figures. Figures that were not Pops. They're not posable. Nothing moves on them, but they've got bigger eyes and stuff like that. This is actually one of those that they just made. It's not actually from a specific line. It's just...
Is there like a Pop version of her? Maybe they did later?
Possibly. I didn't find anything when I was doing a little research.
I can't see.
But she's just a little strawberry that they actually did.
I can't see the date. My eyes aren't that good.
But yeah, it's one of those things where they tried different things. And Tony mentioned earlier in the video that Funko has other companies have come from the idea of using Funko.
Yeah,
vinyl
figures.
Was vinyl, yes.
Actual name, vinyl.
Vinyl, yep. And it's spelled the VYNL. They made 2-packs. Actually, Funko, when they took over, there's your Funko sign up on the top, but they took different things like Crockett and Tubbs, for example.
From Miami Vice.
From Miami Vice. Yeah, these actually have the bigger eyes. They have the more in-depth clothing. They have the greater boxes and stuff like that.
It's squared off figures, and it's just a different design for vinyls. You know, there are endless different vinyl figures. You know, you can even get, you know, they're not technically vinyl figures. They're plastic, but you even get them in like Happy Meal toys and stuff like that.
Right.
Because Pops and the like have just shot off so much. They've calmed down some in the last year or two, but every company wants to get a piece of that market. So like I said, there are other companies like I can here. I'll step off and I'll grab one real quick.
Yeah, this is basically a vinyl figure. This one's actually from 2018. And then vinyl also started off by making larger figures. This is actually a vinyl Idols. This is the Joker from the 66 Batman.
I have returned.
This is vinyl, one of their first figures. This is actually not, well, I should say, this is actually a vinyl sugar. So he actually is not actually from Funko. Funko actually bought vinyl future in the later. This is what these are. As you can see, these guys actually have more detail. They look more doll-like. They're taller. They don't actually have stands, so a lot of people just leave them in the box.
So they eventually bought this company, huh?
Yep, they eventually bought the vinyl company. This is vinyl. This is vinyl sugar, or vinyl Idols, I'm sorry.
Idols, not sugar. Where do you say sugar at?
It's actually one thing they became.
Oh, it says vinyl sugar on the bottom. Okay.
Yeah, vinyl sugar.
But anyway, this is what I was talking about. These are from, I don't know if they're from Burger King or from...
Those are Mickey D's, I think.
McDonald's. Anyway, they're fast food toys. And you can see they're clearly modeled after a pop figure and the like. They're small, got, you know, it's a style called chibi. It's an anime thing where the big head, small body. And they've got in on the craze of having small little figures to collect.
Yep. So that's another one of those lines.
And other companies have done the same thing too.
Right. Other companies, a lot of Japanese companies. This is another one of those that's kind of found that was different. This is another Harley Quinn. This is made by Amicom.
Well, a lot of Japanese companies for years have been making figures. I don't know if you could call them vinyl, but they've been making, you know, posed trophy-like figures, and
Yeah,
this just happens to be one of the companies that makes them.
Yeah, and they're very stylized. You can actually see the Japanese kind of figure to them, where they have that anime look to them. Where their bodies, of course, are not really natural, but they've still got that definition where you can see it is a vinyl figure, and it is basically a statue.
All right, moving on.
Moving on.
Grab some QFigs.
Okay. QFigs. QFigs are another company that actually is not related to Funko, I don't believe. It's actually a different company in itself.
It's by Quantum Mechanics, Inc.
Yep. QFigs are a little bit different as well. They have some of the same titles. They have like Marvel. They have stuff like DC. They actually came out with stuff like Jessica Jones when she was on Netflix. One of the things they did. The cool thing about QFigs is they actually...
It's usually more of a scene. Like they're, you know, like example, you know, Wonder Woman riding the horse. Her sword is busted, unfortunately. But
she's got the...
Yeah, rather than just having just a figure. You can see close with Jessica Jones. She's kicking a brick wall.
Yeah, if you turn around the box.
It's almost like a battle scene or whatever.
There's the box in the back.
And so it's more action-oriented. QFigs usually are.
Yep. And then they also made something a little bit different, too, where they made a Q Pop.
Yep.
It's the same company. Some of these actually came out with Loot Crate. Loot Crate decided that they wanted to get in on the action and basically send you a box every month that had DC items or
anything
collectible.
Loot Crate was big for quite a long time, and you could do any kind of box. You know, they had, collectible boxes. They had, boxes for men, women. They just had endless different types of boxes. And I'm not sure if the company still exists, but if they are, it's less than what it used to be. Just because I read an article quite a while back that they'd spread themselves so thin with all these different types of boxes that it made it crazy just to keep up with all the different types.
So, yep.
But yeah, they might still exist. I'm not sure.
But yeah, they've actually done Pops as well. I've got a Han Solo that came from Loot Crate. All right, and then also vinyl-wise was the candies, the rock candies. These guys made, their figures are a little bit more adult as well, more teenager. This is the rock candy only from Target of the Black Canary. And she's got the DC Bombshells kind of look to her. The DC Bombshells is what came out.
Well, not kind of. It is DC Bombshells.
It is DC Bombshells. But yeah, she came out. They are kind of that, what is it, the World War II kind of figures to them?
Yeah, it's the Bombshells are from World War II. It's Bombshells is kind of like a pinup girl kind of type of thing.
Yeah, that's the kind of best way to describe them.
It's not nudity, but they're often in a sexy pose, wearing sexier clothing.
Right. They're doing things like singing, or some of them have like...
Trying to see a date. You don't know.
Okay. They do more detail-oriented stuff. I believe this is another rock candy. This is another Harley Quinn. And as you can see, she's got that kind of a different pose where her mallet is not up on her shoulder as like the wacky Wobblers are, but she's got the mallet kind of... The mallet on the kind of the floor kind of thing.
There you go.
Where she's actually got, you can see her eyes and you can see her lips and stuff like that. And these have more definition, I guess, is what the big thing would be.
And not everybody copies the exact forms of Funko.
Right.
A lot of companies try to differentiate themselves and make it look just a little bit different. That way they're not, one thing, copyright reasons, but also just so they can distinguish themselves.
Yep.
Here's another vinyl.
This is another vinyl, yeah. You'll notice again, like the Crockett and Tubbs, their eyes are huge. Their faces are bigger, and their bodies are a little bit smaller as well.
This is a Barnes & Noble exclusive, so they also worked with other stores just like the regular Pops.
Right, and this was, of course,
that's part of Funko.
Hermione Granger and Ron Weasley from the Harry Potter series.
Hermione.
Yep. And like I showed you before, they've got actually pictures of the actual actors. Movie shots. Yeah, so their boxes are actually more in depth than their regular Pop. So they're actually movie tie-ins kind of thing. Now also, vinyl did something where they made them more figures where you could actually play with them.
Yeah, they actually came with accessories.
Kind of like play sets. This is another one from Harry Potter. This is actually from a different company called 5 Star.
Yep. And it's Ron, and it looks like he is...
The gardening scene.
Yep. He's in herbology. And he's got his earmuffs, and look like he's ready to pull out one of the screeching... the plant things.
Yep. But yeah, so that actually...
I'm sure you guys can tell us what their name is.
Of course. And that's the box. They have actually more figures that way. Now, Funko also did things where the retro toy line.
Yep.
This is actually from made by Funko.
Reaction.
Yeah.
Yeah. They've made a bunch of old style figures like you saw in the 70s and 80s, and where it's just a figure, and you can see that has the the card,
Uh-huh.
and
on the back, they've got
anybody
postables.
that grew up in that time period recognize this style of card.
Right. This is like the
looks like a G.I. Joe
or a Star Wars figure. Yeah.
Yep.
And it's made by Funko, but it's actually gives you that kind of thing where some of these figures never came out when the movie came out.
Yep.
They actually took that line a little bit longer than it did for those.
Yeah, this is Funko. And then it's Super 7.
Yeah. So yeah, they've tried different things that way. I'm not sure they're making figures still. I think they made some Back to the Future ones that I thought were pretty cool.
There's a bunch of them that they made. This is from 2013.
Yeah. So that is something different to have as well. And then some more stuff from overseas. This is actually Chopper from Rebels. He's actually kind of a different thing as well. Here is a Hirokari.
Yep, Hirokari.
Hirokari
Mini.
Yep. He actually comes from Walt Disneyland. This is one of those that you could pick up from the Smuggler's Bounty. This is actually, I'm not sure if it's Walt Disney World or Walt Disneyland. I don't remember.
I don't know. Smuggler's Bounty exclusive.
Yeah. But actually, it's made by Funko.
Mm-hmm.
It's one of those things where they took a mold that they didn't have already out and made it basically so that you can look through it. And it's basically that vinyl figure where it's one color and then it looks like it's got...
It's all sparkly.
Sparkly, yeah.
Glittered.
Glittered. Okay, another line that's vinyl-wise
is Dorbs.
Dorbs, yeah. These are made by the Vinyl Sugar guys.
Yep, but they were eventually acquired by Funko, weren't they?
I believe so.
Yeah, it says Vinyl Sugar.
I think they come up under Funko as well when you scan them. I'm not sure it says on the box. But yeah, these are guys that... These are kind of like a mix between Pops and the little figures.
Mm-hmm. The Mini Pops.
Mini Pops.
Pocket Pops.
Pocket Pops. They're actually... Their eyes are usually closed.
Yep.
But they've got that look to them like they're smiling kind of. You show them the side of the box.
They're always grinning.
Yeah, they're always grinning. So, and they're kind of a little bit smaller guys.
More cutesy.
Yeah. They've got the same lines. They've got like Stranger Things from Netflix. They've got the Disney line. So here's a Boo and there's 11. But they've got more detail to him. He's got his little tail and stuff.